Go the other way. Tide's down. Should be able to walk all the way to the tide flats. We'll suffer through the Poop Palace. Yeah, so I see lots of things on YouTube. It gets harder and harder, like, to find interesting things. Most of the stuff is like what you'd find on TV. I saw this slow transition, and I'd say it's pretty far gone now. But it's like the people had this opportunity to make real content, talk to each other and do these things, but because of the way we're programmed, I believe, people just want to be told things. Nobody wants to know anything for themselves, like, well, you know why, or know this or know that. They just want to hear about things and how the people that are talking about it have it all figured out, and this is what we're gonna do. Well, I think that everybody can be just like me, and you can think about the things that we've seen in the past. What have they brought to us? Come on. Come on. Everybody's worried about, what are you going to do if there's nobody taking care of you? I think it's just a way to make people want someone to take care of them even more. Nobody wants to fucking prep and eat a bunch of food out of a bucket. That's stupid. Who the fuck is you? Could you really do that? Could you really do that? You wake up every day and you get your fucking food out of the cracker barrel? I don't know. I don't want to. Do you... I've broken myself in the habit of eating food at a regular basis. Like, people, oh, I'm hungry. Like breakfast time people, oh, I'm hungry. I'm not hungry. When it goes away from your training, where you get rid of your training and you just eat when you're hungry, it's not fucking 3 times a day. It's not. And then what happens if you're hungry but you're doing work? You don't have time to eat. You don't have time to go and gather anything to eat. You don't have time to sit down and eat it. You digest it and sit around while it digests properly. So you don't. And you focus on your work and you're not hungry. The energy breaks. It takes energy to break down the stuff in the food, and then there's so much stuff or so much bad stuff in the food. There's so little good things in the food, but you still have to break down all the bad things, and so that kills the amount of benefit from that, if there is any. I mean, what's the benefit? If you have a filter and it's a brand new filter, and you don't put anything through it, but occasionally stuff goes through it, it's gonna last for a long time. But if you have a filter and you just constantly put things through it just to see how long it takes to get through it for no reason, it's gonna clog up. Filters that get used have a limited time of life, and I'd say the eating is probably shortening your lifespan. I don't trust 100% any of the old stories or anything like that, but it sure does seem like they ate differently. Like, maybe you didn't eat at all. Maybe walking through the woods and you see a group of berries, maybe just enough berries so that the plant doesn't get harmed. Maybe that's all you need. All everybody needs. Maybe you don't even need that. What do the plants? The plants make what we call food. We say they make food. They make it out of the sun and the things in the dirt. Thinking about absorption. You absorb this and you absorb that. Your skin absorbs oxygen. Maybe breathing is more like eating than we think. I don't know. Do I really need anything? What if I'm just here? Do I have to move around? What if your consciousness just gets absorbed into the world and then you could come back when you feel like it, when it feels like it? I don't think you experience anything that your consciousness experiences. It seems like it's a higher enactment. And so what if your consciousness requires something that we do here for it to sustain itself? Being self-aware makes it something. When nothing becomes self-aware. Come on, I don't want to go close to that. Does anybody else think this is strange? How did that get here? That wasn't here. It didn't roll down the hill. How did that big fucking thing get here? The only thing that passes through my mind is it was somewhere next to the water. It became encrusted in ice. The ice broke free somewhere further back, and then the tide came in and lifted it up. Carried that big ass fucking block all the way to here, and then because of the way the tide goes, it gets washed up onto the shore, and then because it's heavy, it rides a little bit lower and the tide goes out a little bit and it drags and it can't get out and bam, it's stuck there. It's not stinky today. I guess people don't poop a lot on Tuesday night. Wednesday morning. Wednesday morning, the poop is non-existent. Yeah, it's cool. They put all these rocks here. They're not exciting to me. I mean, they're cool looking, but they're not from here. Person came by. I don't know if they're subscribed to me or not, so you might not see this, but you might. They were talking about Kenai beaches, and I've said it before, but you know, people come at different times. These are Alaska beaches. We get, it's pretty much, I've seen some sandy beaches, but even those sandy beaches, it's more of a silty sand, muddy sand, kind of like this stuff right here. I mean, it's, I guess, maybe it's just always wet, I don't know. It doesn't look like the sandy beaches of the lower 48 or different countries. Like when I was in Thailand, those beaches are sand. And they're cool. Come on. I guess the things that you find at those beaches would be more unique because you're finding it in a sea of sand. And maybe it stands out better. I don't know. I don't think I've ever really found anything on the beach like that. I haven't explored them very much. I have been to beaches though. Anyways. Because everywhere that you see is a beach, like a sandy beach. When I was growing up, I thought, how come Alaska doesn't have beaches? Isn't that lame? I always thought it was lame. But now that I experienced them more, I like them a lot. I think these beaches are cool. They almost seem more natural, like, I don't know. Maybe realizing the difference makes me appreciate the differences, so they're cool in their own way. Let's get off the beach. Oh, we got all this mud. I think our land is being ground down. It's super fine. Like, that's what the mud is we call it silt. It's got silt in it, which is just broken down rocks and dirt. More rocks, I think, than dirt. I think dirt makes mud, and crazy. The whole inlet kind of goes out. Like all of this right here, you see that big, you know, zoom in for you. You see how far that fucking sandbar goes? It goes out and it curves around. All that is underwater when the tide comes in. That's the inlet. Over there it's deeper obviously, but this whole little channel right here, I think that's Fire Island. I think that was probably connected. People go walking on the mud and you can sink in, and it's like a quicksand type of thing, or it's like a sticky mud. And as you go down, as your foot goes down inside there, it's creating like a cavity because the mud flows just enough to keep a good seal, and so you push the air out, and then you can't pull your foot out because it's created a suction. So people go out there and then they get in there and they get stuck, and we have ways planned out now on how to get them out of there, but it requires equipment, and you know, hopefully they find you before the tide comes up. If they don't find you before the tide comes up, and then the tide comes up while you're stuck in the mud, they'll probably never see you again. You'll probably just get tided right over, and maybe your head might stick out. I don't know. I doubt it. You're just gone. You're part of the inlet now. But they've also tried to pull the people out, and they've actually harmed people trying to pull them out of the mud, because you can't pull that hard, and the human body is not a very good tow rope, or it's a good anchor, but come on. Sand. Look at that. Let me put my glove in my pocket, I guess. So those homeless people, I don't give a shit about them. The only thing I care about them is I have to look at them when I'm at my work. I think that they make Alaska look like shit. I'm not saying we have to kill them or hide them or anything like that, but let's address this situation. Why are there so many fucking crazy drug addict, homeless people walking around? People have this idea of homelessness like, oh, it's the family, he lost his job and blah blah blah. No, those people aren't homeless. Unless when you lose your job and you lose your house and all that stuff, you start drinking and using drugs, then you might be like one of those homeless people. If you just fucking give up, you don't even try to have a place to sleep. They just sleep with a blanket over them next to a doorway. That's not even trying to stay warm. That's not even trying to survive. That person that's their way of begging for a handout. And if you're not allowed to beg for handouts, then you're not allowed to fucking sleep on the goddamn sidewalk. Sleeping on the sidewalk? I mean, what kind of fucking waste? What kind of waste is that? What are you showing to the rest of the world? I really wish that it would be acceptable to go through and just euthanize them. But then, they probably want us to say that, so we can set up all these things to euthanize all the fucking homeless, and then they'll just take all our homes away, and then put us through the program, and they'll pay themselves to fucking euthanize us. So yeah, I guess that's not a good idea, is it? Let's not kill the homeless. Let's just kill the rich. Maybe that's it. Punish the people for working hard. You think they work hard? The rich people work hard? I know a lot of tradespeople. I grew up as a tradesperson, kinda. I mean, I do all that kind of stuff. Come on. And so that's probably why I know a lot of them. They all have money because the things that they do are worthwhile and needed for the most part. But none of them are rich. None of them are rich. Unless they start doing these fucking Jewish tactics, start fucking using people, then those people become rich. If you could lower your morals, you could be rich too. You can't be rich from working, and they'll fucking tell you that. Because they don't even fucking care. They don't even care if you know. They don't even care if you know the fucking situation. Because there's nothing you could do about it, because the majority of people don't fucking know. Yeah, Max knows. We're fucking using them. We're using everybody. But who the fuck cares if Max knows? Max can talk about it until his fucking face turns blue. It doesn't mean anything. But it doesn't bother me either. Okay, you got everybody tricked. What if I'm not tricked? And, well, you know, I guess I have to live with whatever the rules that people put on me if I want to be here with the people. But I don't know that I do. I don't know that I want to be here with the people. I'm not a thief. I'm not a user or anything like that. I've done things like that in my past because I grew up in this system. I've had wins in my life. Ooh, win, score. I scored big. They're all gone. It's all gone. It doesn't. You have to keep scoring big. The amount of using and stuff, it just doesn't make you feel good. And then people, well, once I get to be a millionaire, I'll be happy. Well, I don't think you will. Because that guy over there is a millionaire and he can't wait to be a multi-millionaire. That guy over there, well, let's change it up. That woman over there, she's a multi-millionaire already and she can't wait to be a billionaire. 100 millionaire. The billionaires. winner. Now you were a loser.